Good evening, I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Starting quarterback Dylan Raiola was named a semifinalist for the Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year award today. Raiola leads all true freshman passes in yards per game with 213 and ranks second in completion percentage and passing touchdowns. Finalists will be announced on December 4th. Another night of action continues as Ohio travels to Kent State and Western Michigan hosts Northern Illinois. 3 games in Big Ten men's college basketball tonight as Rutgers leads Wagner 36-19 at half. Indiana hosts SIU Edwardsville, and Oral Roberts versus Minnesota. In the NBA, the Warriors face the Celtics, Lakers versus the Grizzlies, Pelicans host the Cavs, and Paul George makes his return to LA as the Sixers face the Clippers. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Coming up next is Hour 1 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Raiola turns, fakes the handoff, looks a little fade route to the back corner of the end zone, passes up, and it's caught. It is a touchdown, Nebraska. Isaiah Nair pulls one in, and the Huskers have 6 points.
Set to the back row, Franklin swings, unbelievable dig, Laney Showboy. Nebraska bumps it to the left, Taylor Landfair roll shot, and it falls. Nebraska's up 18-15. Landfair's finest hour as a Husker. Tonight, Taylor Landfair, 10 kills and 6 errors, and the Huskers are up 18-15 in the third.
Defensive rebound by Wooster, brings it across the timeline. Defender on his back all the way to the rim. Nope, circles back out, kicks to Esigian, 3 ball. Got it! Connor Esigian with his third 3. It's 72-65.
Bojan with the active hands. Ahead it comes. Britt Prince on the deep left wing, tracks down the loose ball. Bojan not guarded. Her 3-pointer. You betcha! The first Central Valley Egg 3 of the year goes to Petra Bojan, and now Nebraska has hit a 3-pointer in 500 straight games.
Now, here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are. It's already a Wednesday. How about that hump day here tonight? Full 2 hours coming your way. Glad to be with you, and so glad you have chosen to spend a little bit of time with us tonight because of the football bye week. Chance for us to kind of branch out a little bit. We're going to talk some Husker wrestling coming up here in a few minutes with head coach Mark Manning. They begin their season Friday night at home. Utah Valley will be one of your few times to see them before we get into January. So a chance to go watch a home duel tonight. Looking forward to this. Jess, he is so excited about his team. And there's some interesting things. He's changed some weight classes on some guys. Lenny Pinto and a couple guys have moved down a class because they picked up a 197-pounder that they want to get into the rotation. Silas Allred, another one who's dropped down a weight class. But, boy, there are familiar names. Ridge Lovett, Brock Hardy, Caleb Smith, Bubba Wilson. I mean, man, it's a group that we have known for a couple years. I think this is going to be an outstanding team Nebraska's going to put out on the mat this winter.
Yeah, this is one of those ones where you build and you build and you build, and then, hey, here it is. It's time. You know, you have some young guys like a Lenny Pinto who a lot of times with wrestling, it just is so hard to compete and be really good as a freshman or true even a redshirt freshman, but they continue to get bigger, stronger, and understanding the sport, and it's just such a competitive league. But then you redshirt Ridge, and then you move some guys around, and here you are playing chess with some really phenomenal pieces, and I can understand why he's excited about this group, that's for sure.
Weird to not see Peyton Robb's name. He was such a fixture the last couple of years, but he's graduated and moved on. But other than that, they have a lot of names Husker fans are going to be familiar with. I know ticket sales have been really good for the season. We announced a couple of days ago the BTN schedule came out. Wrestling does really well in the BTN, and it's such a big sport, particularly Penn State and Iowa. And I think you put Nebraska in there now, too, because we've been a top 10 program, really, for the last decade with Coach Manning. And I think he feels squarely that he has that again this year with potential national champions with guys like Brock Hardy and Ridge Lovett who have a chance to win national championships moving forward. So should be a great season. We're looking forward to talking to Coach and getting the breakdown on this year's roster and moving forward to that. And we'll certainly be covering them as the season moves on. Husker football practice today. And then, Coach Worrell said, we're going to get out and do some recruiting this week. And their social media account about an hour ago put up a shot of the coach heading to the airport to get on a plane to fly to Houston to go do some recruiting down in that area this week. They're going to probably go see some games that are being played. And it's going to be a bit of a sprint because, as we mentioned last night, and I think this is going to sneak up on people, the signing day is not like a few days before Christmas, which is what it's been the last couple of years. It's going to be right after the season. It's going to be the Wednesday after the Iowa game. So we barely get into December, and off we go. We're going to have a signing day. And part of me is kind of happy for the coaches, Jess, because they would come back from the Iowa game, or we would finish the Iowa game here in Lincoln, and those guys were packing their bags and on the road Sunday to go hither and thither and moving all around the country to go see kids. And it was a 3-week kind of a rat race for them a little bit. They aren't going to be able to do that. I think that's okay for them, but it's going to be here in a hurry. We're inside of a month for that signing day to get here, and we all know how important those are. That's the backbone of your program, is who you're going to be able to land in those recruiting classes.
Well, and it's not just, about what Nebraska's done. I mean, think about it's really across, I think, the country in college football, and some teams are playing in the conference championship, some were playing in bowl games, some were not. And so, hey, I think everybody wanted it to move up so that you can focus on your current team if you're playing for certain games, with college football playoff or bowl games, whatever it might be. Hey, get it out of the way. And aren't they even talking about moving it up to a early signing period, even into the summer? And so I think a lot of coaches are for, but yeah, it just kind of shortens the time that you can host a bunch of people in December, and then you're still balancing, hopefully, balancing coaching a current football team that's hopefully playing in a bowl game or the college football playoffs. So for a lot of schools. So, I think it was a tough juggling act. And so that kind of takes away some of that time that you have to do that 3-week stretch. But yeah. And Coach Rule and the staff, that's what they do. We talked a lot about this after the Indiana game, that they're going to get some pieces from the transfer portal. They are. But this is going to be a developmental program where they bring in young talent and they build those guys up. And, we've already seen some success with some of those guys. And so it's a really, really important for this group and for Coach Rule and this staff to get those guys and bring them in. And, so it's fun. I'm glad, Greg. I'm glad that it's earlier because it was a little bit, I think it was the Wednesday after the volleyball Final Four last year. And so that was a wild turnaround, just so much to juggle and figure out. So I'm kind of glad that it's earlier. It's before really the volleyball postseason starts. You get it taken care of, you get it knocked out. Not get it out of the way because it's a big day. It's a big day and it's important to the program. It's important to these young recruits. But hey, you get it. You get your day to shine, and you can go all in on this one day, and then you move forward with your team and the rest of the sports around here too. So I'm a fan that it moved forward a little bit, and it's also close to Christmas.
And I'm with you, and I think it does relieve some pressure from the staff. And I think the point about you want to be getting bowl prepped. You want to be, hopefully at some point in time, you want to be one of those 12 teams that might be playing in the playoff. And how do you do that and go recruit? I mean, I don't know how you get your team prepared for those big games and go recruit. It's kind of too much jam. So get it done. You've done so much recruiting in the summer and brought so many kids on campus during the games in the fall. There was a huge group here this past Saturday watching the UCLA game. It was crowded down there on the Husker sideline. But, I'm kind of looking back now, Jess, at this true freshman class. Man, we did well. I mean, obviously Dylan and Ja'Cory have had big impacts. Kiana Davis, V9, Vincent Schaefers, Willis McGahee. Those guys have all burned their red shirts as true freshmen, but they are all quality players that are going to be quality Big Ten players for years to come. So I think, last year's class to this point, and I think there's some guys redshirting that are going to help as well. You got to go A+ for what they did for the group that came in last December. Absolutely, yeah. And, some of those offensive linemen, too, that they got are going to be those guys that they're not ready now, but I think they have the potential to be really good and help this program, too. I mean, Greg, you and I and
this is something that you go back to my first year is 2021. You and I did the signing day show with Searles, and I remember, I'll never forget how concerned he was that there wasn't an offensive lineman in that group. And then that's the kind of group that you build up and then you rely on, 2, 3, 4 years later, and those are your starters. And so, it's so important. And so I think even some of those offensive linemen that they got in that group, they made a big focus, a big emphasis on that last year. And so I think those guys eventually, we don't know yet, but I think eventually they will be able to really contribute. And I think we'll circle back here, like you said, in maybe 2, 3 years and really point to this class. It could be a really special group.
Sure could. I probably should throw Carter Nelson's name in there, too, as a true freshman that's had an impact. Guys like Grant Bricks, who was a really highly touted offensive lineman, is redshirting, and I've not heard anything to say that he's not going to end up being an outstanding player. Gibson Powell, which unfortunately was in the news over the weekend with a DUI. He made a mistake. Kids make mistakes, but I think he was making some noise in camp. So I think that group's going to be pretty good moving forward. But just the ones we've seen on the field, obviously when your quarterback is a true freshman and your starter, and Ja'Cory Barney leads the team in receptions, made an unbelievable catch last week, running clear across the field to make that long catch and play against UCLA.
Greg,
special player.
Isn't he now? Did he break the freshman record, or is he 2 away going into this next game?
I don't think he's broken it yet. I think he's still a couple away.
For receptions, I think he's pretty close. Basically, he's going to get it. Ja'Cory Barney is going to be at the top of the record books by the time the season is done, and maybe in multiple categories. And
what a delightful young man. And loves
fantastic.
Football, right?
He's so great. He's just got such a great personality. He's such a light, and he's such a good teammate. You can just tell, too. Sometimes those really confident young guys can get on some nerves a little bit, but he is so well-liked. We heard some stories about, and even Ja'Cory told me about it, about how when John Hull had some issues, had the tough game at Purdue, how big of a cheerleader Ja'Cory was for John and going through practices, and he was right there beside him the entire time. He just has a knack too for providing a spark when it's needed. It feels like how many times are we sitting there saying, boy, just when you need something to happen good, a lot of times it's Ja'Cory Barney who's doing it. I mean, he is a ball player, he's a playmaker, and he just has such a great personality and is a great teammate to go along with it. He is just one of those guys that is just really special in a lot of different ways. But I really enjoyed my conversation with him, and I think he's going to be a fun one for years to come.
And part of that South Florida group that we talked about a week or so ago, that of Schaefer's and McGahee and Barney, who've all had huge impacts, and we mentioned Coach Rural headed to Houston tonight. They're not going to give up that Texas pipeline either. They've got a lot of contacts down in that state. You got to get down there and get some people. But I'm glad that maybe we have a second conduit kind of going to South Florida to get some young guys up here to be part of the Husker football program. All right, Husker Volleyball boarded their plane this afternoon to go to the Great Northwest. They've got the back-to-back road matches at Oregon and Washington. Gonna have to stay up late, folks. 8 o'clock tomorrow night for pregame, 9 for first serve as they take on 12th-ranked Oregon, and then Saturday night even later, 9:30 first serve, 8:30 for pregame. I hope JB can get his body clock adjusted so that he can stay awake to call those matches. But late night matches, Oregon's the better of the two, although Washington did beat Oregon in 5 a week or so ago. But this will be a challenging trip. Oregon's really good. Huskers matched up with them a couple years ago. And in fact, I think did they get beat by them in Louisville in that round of 16? They might have.
They did, yeah. It was that epic match that they run out of subs, and they were.
And they
had some littles on the front row, and it was wild. It was that was when they were kind of running a 6-2, right? And
yep.
So there's some craziness there, and it ended up upsetting, but Oregon was a hot team at that point. They were on a heater going into that one, but it was on paper technically an upset. But yeah, I think that was the last time.
Yeah, I don't think they've played them since that. That was in Louisville, I believe, at the Yum Center was where they got beat in that match. So we'll have a part of the podcast, The Dig, coming up in hour number 2. Kelly Hunter was the guest this week for Jessica. We'll talk volleyball there. Also, we'll have a little Big Ten Blitz. It's Wednesday night. We'll jump around the Big Ten Conference and talk about some matchups coming up this weekend. The playoff poll came out last night. We touched on it a little bit. We only had an hour that we were able to talk last night because of the volleyball show in hour number 1. But, man, the Big Ten, 4 of the 12 are Big Ten. And it's interesting because the top 4 seeds are reserved for conference champions. But what they did is they announced where you would be if you didn't have to pre-seed teams by conference championships. And Ohio State's 2. So the Big Ten had Oregon 1, Ohio State 2.
Wow.
But because the Buckeyes, right now, you wouldn't say win the league. You'd say that's Oregon. Buckeyes slipped to the 5 spot, but they would get to host a playoff game against Boise State. That'd be kind of cool, seeing Boise at the Horseshoe in December. And then Indiana is the 8 seed, but because BYU jumps them because they're a conference champion, they would be the 9 seed, and Indiana would play on the road at Tennessee. Penn State would be the 7 seed, so they're just ahead of Indiana, even though the Lions have a loss to Ohio State. They would host Notre Dame. That sounds pretty good to me, Jess. A weekend where Penn State's hosting Notre Dame, Texas is hosting Alabama, Tennessee's hosting Indiana, and Ohio State taking on Boise.
Ooh.
Sign me up. I'll watch those games.
Ooh, yeah, that is a slate right there. Yeah, that's what's great about this. Look how much there is to play for still. You know, going into the second week of November, still a lot on the line, still a lot of teams jockeying for potentially having a home field advantage to even for the Big Ten championship, to even get into the playoff. There's still some big games left on the schedule for these teams too. I mean, some of the ones with one loss. I mean, and Bama has a couple, right, that they could be sliding out. So who else there's still a lot to try to figure out too. It's not like this is a done deal. These are going to be the teams that are in it. I think this is going to change a few times.
Oh, no doubt. You could probably go all the way down to number 20, and those teams still have a crack to get in. Bama plays at LSU. We're going to be picking that game later in the week in our pick segment, but that's a big game. If Bama wins that, they'll probably be okay because they will be favored big to win the rest of their games, and they're not going to play in the SEC title game, so they're not going to have to put it on the line one more time. That's a big matchup Saturday in Death Valley with Alabama at LSU. But it's pretty cool. Big Ten with 4 of the 12 and number 1 and number 2 seeds with Oregon and Ohio State. And that's what, again, we played a long clip last night from Coach Rural about consistency with the Husker program. That's what's driving us all crazy is that we went toe for toe with that Buckeye team 2 weeks ago, and there was not much difference between Nebraska and Ohio State on that particular day. So Nebraska has the ability to be that close to this thing, and then that's what makes what happened the following Saturday with UCLA rather frustrating.
Hey, by the way, I know we had a text about this a few weeks ago asking about a 3-loss team getting in. Is there a scenario where the SEC has someone get to the SEC championship game with 2 losses and lose and still get in?
Maybe. I'd have to go dig through that and look at that. Because right now, I've got to go pull up their standings. I know Georgia only has the 1, but Georgia plays at Ole Miss Saturday. That's not a cakewalk. They could lose to Lane Kiffin's team. So that would give somebody 2 losses. I think they could have an SEC title game with 2 2-loss teams. I think if the team loses that one, I bet they would be bounced. Which is crazy because then it's technically the second team in the SEC that has 3 losses. And somebody else in the SEC is going to get in over them. Because they didn't get to the title game. Might be better not to get there. That's what I'm saying. That's what's kind of crazy about that is that the SEC is going to get a nod. I feel like if there is a team that makes it to the SEC title game, loses, I think they still get in with a 3rd loss. Now, I don't know if you don't make it to the SEC title game and have 3 losses. No, I don't think you're in. Not even Bama. But if somebody else, I don't know. I feel like if you get to the SEC title game with 2 losses, you lose. I feel like they'll still put that team in with the 3 losses because I don't know how they put in a different SEC team that didn't get to the title game over that team. I don't know. What? See, still so much to figure out. Yeah, and that's what's great. There's so many teams that feel like they still have a shot with a month to go in the season. I think it's great for college football, and I cannot wait for those home site games in the weekend before Christmas. I think it's going to be fantastic for college football. Hey, we're going to talk some wrestling. Mark Manning, Husker head coach, coming up in the next segment. Huskers open their season Friday with Utah Valley. Let's do that. Let's grapple with the coach next.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard. Until the other team scores. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump.
And save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
There's something to be said for American made, but at Monolith, we're helping create Nebraska made. From here in Nebraska, we're producing low-emission carbon black for tires across North America. Soon we'll be providing farmers with locally made fertilizer to reduce our reliance on foreign imports. We're investing hundreds of millions in our multiple Nebraska facilities and employing Nebraskans in high-paying jobs that support families and communities. Monolith, Nebraska made.
The best Thanksgiving tradition is football, and AAA knows the best way to celebrate the holiday is by hitting the road with the Huskers. The Huskers play their annual Black Friday game on the road this year, and AAA is giving fans a chance to win a road trip package to Iowa City. The package includes 2 game tickets to Nebraska versus Iowa on November 29th, a gas card, and hotel accommodations, courtesy of AAA Nebraska. Enter at huskers.com/AAA road trip. Contest ends on November 17th.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford credit financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
No matter what color you wear on game day or what color tractor you drive, there's one color Nebraskans trust to be a partner for life lived well. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska combines national power with Nebraska roots. Awarded the best health insurance experience in the heartland, Blue Cross delivers affordable, high-quality health plans for Medicare groups and individuals. Head to nebraskablue.com to find the coverage that's right for you. Team Blue says, go Big Red.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down, we only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we're born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Friday night, can't get here soon enough because that means the start of Husker wrestling. Delighted to be joined by Husker coach Mark Manning. I know you are ready to go.
Yeah, we are. We're looking forward to this season. We have a great team coming back, and with 4 All-Americans, and you know we just had a great off season, Greg. We had a lot of guys make big commitment to the sport. You know, we've changed our lineup. You know, there's 4 guys that are going to be at different weight classes this year, cutting down. So, you know, we're trying to put a, you know, not a deficit on the training table, Bill, there, but you know, so we have some guys really lean, and you know, with Silas Allred and Lenny Pinto, those guys, and Antrell Taylor, they're lean, but it's the right weight for them, and so. We're really looking forward to the season.
Fantastic. Let's kind of go through the lineup. Let's start at 125. Caleb Smith did some good things for you a year ago, and he is back. You feeling good about him? Feeling great about Caleb. He's, you know, he's got a lot of experience under his belt. He was an All-American last year, gave him a lot of confidence, and, you know, 125's got a lot of good guys across the country. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it's just Caleb, you know, having a great year and building off what he did last year. And so we feel great about Caleb Smith. We like that he's on our team. Jacob Vandy was making progress for you last year, 133. Yep. How's he been? He's been great. He's, you know, he actually, we didn't know it, but last year at the NCAA tournament, he broke his wrist. Ooh. And so he had to have surgery over the spring there and summer, and he's healed up now, ready to go. But, you know, it was just kind of a freak accident. He didn't even know. He didn't really say anything to anyone. But his wrist was bothering him last spring, late, and got an x-ray, and then he had broken a bone in his wrist. And, you know, he's a hard-nosed competitor. You know, that's what you like about Jacob is he's going to give 100%. And, you know, he's just a tough out. He's got a lot better, and he's going to build off his year too. 141 means Brock Hardy time, right? Yeah, 2-time All-American, 3rd in the nation last year, and he's got 2 national champions. Mendez back at Ohio State, he's coming back, and then Alvarez from Northern Colorado who took a Olympic red shirt last year, was a national champion 2 years ago. So he's got a loaded weight. And but we love that Brock's going to be right in there with them. So well, you had a guy at 149 2 years ago, and Ridge did the redshirt thing and came back. How's he? I'm sure he's ready to go win a national title. Yeah, you know, Ridge he's bound and determined to get it done, and you know, he just learned from last year. You know, the NCAA tournament had a heartbreaker loss, had beat that guy, and you know, the Virginia Tech kid's back, you know, too. So. There's always going to be good guys, and Ridge just got to be his best, and we're excited to have his leadership. Now we get to where you started to make some guys make moves from classes. Let's go to 157, and Antrell Taylor, who was solid for a year ago, but he's going to wrestle 157. Peyton Robbins nowadays are exhausted, right? Yeah, exactly. And Antrell, you know, he had a up and down year probably until the end of the season. He was really consistent. And, you know, he ended up being an All-American at 165, probably the toughest weight class out there. And he just did a fantastic job for us in March last year. And, you know, 157's the best weight for him. And he's ready to load it up, ready to go. Love seeing those local kids do well in your program.
Man. And, we have Cale Lawrenson, is, biting at the bit. We're going to redshirt him this year. He'll be our future at 125, him and Alan Kaler. And both those kids are really, really tough. And, they're both local, and we're happy to have them on our team.
Again, visiting the Husker wrestling coach Mark Manning here on Sports Line. Bubba Wilson's been around a while, a little senior from down in Manhattan, Kansas. Will be at your 165 class, right?
Yeah, for sure. And we have another redshirt freshman, Christopher Minto, is biting at the bit at his heels. So
nice.
We have some really good depth. And Bubba's going to be going for us on Friday night, and he's healthy, ready to go. Obviously, as a 6-year guy, he's put a lot of work in, and he wants to pay it off. So we're excited about what he's going to do this year.
One of your veteran guys on this team. It's going to take me a while to get used to Lenny Pinto being at 174. I may trip on that for the first month.
Yeah, it's great seeing Lenny. He's in the best shape of his life. Nice and lean. The Italian Stallion is at 174, and we're excited to see what he does. And he's a strong, powerful guy, explosive guy, and that's really going to help Lenny, the sacrifice he made to be his best. He knows that, he's got to put a lot of extra time in making that weight. And so, you become a different guy when you individually sacrificed and made that sacrifice to cut weight and put all those extra hours in that, hey, I'm gonna make it pay off. So we're really excited about him. And then, obviously Silas Allred going 184.
Yeah.
And being a Big Ten champ, he just feels like he can be his best and give himself the best chance to be a national champion at 184. And that's why Silas is cutting down. So both those guys, Lenny and Silas are great leaders on our team, and they're both juniors. And so we're really happy with their development over the summer.
So what does that do to 197 then for you?
Yeah, we recruited well a couple of years ago. We got a commitment from Cam McDaniel from Ohio, and Cam is we gap yeared him last year, and he was a bronze medalist at the Junior World Championships, and so he's got a lot of experience with wrestling with a lot of older guys, and he's competed against. He's won a couple open tournaments already last year. And so his gap year, he comes in as a freshman, and he's ready to go. So we're going to start him right away.
All right. Looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, he's a great competitor, and people are really going to love Cam McDaniel. He says he'll be a heart and soul of our team moving forward. He's that good, and he's just a great leader.
Well, last year in your heavyweight, we saw for a while the polar bear out there for you. What about your heavyweight going into the season this year?
Yeah, we want polar bear to take care of business these next 3 weeks, but Harley Andrews.
Good.
And Harley's bigger. He just needed maturity with his body and his mind, and he's really done that over the summer. He weighs about 257 now, 6'5". He needed that strength. He needed that maturity, and he really found it this summer and put a lot of work in, and we're ready to have Harley do some great things for us.
Got him out of Oklahoma, didn't you? Found an Oklahoma guy.
Oh, yeah, little Okie.
All right, Utah Valley, give me a couple matches that you think the fans will really want to lock into.
165 is going to be an amazing match.
Okay.
They have a young man in Bear Claw who transferred from Penn State. He's a Utah guy. Utah State Valley has got a new coach, new leadership, so they brought that kid in from Penn State, and he knocked off the number 3 kid in the country last week from Stanford. So that'll be a great match with Bubba Wilson and Bear Claw. 141, they have a really good kid, too. He's nationally ranked. So, I know they'll come in ready to go, and, it's a good challenge getting off this season on the right foot, and we're ready to compete.
Well, and a chance for the folks to see your team right before you're going to go to Carolina. I know you got the Cliff Keen later. I think you're headed to a Navy Classic maybe in November as well.
Here in 3 weeks, right before Thanksgiving,
That'll
we
be
had a Navy Classic. So we won't be home till December 20th.
Right.
So this would be a great time to get as many Husker fans out supporting us. Our mat side season tickets are sold out.
That's what I heard.
And we have some great momentum. I think this team is a special team, and just with 4 All-Americans, 2 other guys being in the round of 12, this team can really do something. And obviously, Big Ten season, I'm sure we'll talk about that later. But we have Minnesota and Penn State coming in early January, which will be exciting for our fans.
And the TV schedule's out. You're making a bunch of appearances on BTN. That helps, right? That's got to help recruiting and just getting exposure for your program.
Sure does. And, it's, everyone realizes that Big Ten wrestling is the toughest wrestling conference. And, week in and week out, you got to be ready to go. And that's really what we're doing, have been doing here this month of October, is getting our guys ready to be consistent and be consistent performers, so we make them be consistent, practice guys. You prepare well, you can compete well. And so we really ask our guys to really give 100% at practice so that they're going to be at their best come game day. And they put their foot in the line. They got to be able to be courageous performers and have fun doing it. So.
Well, it's going to be a fun season. Utah Valley, Friday at 6 at the Devaney Center. Going to be fun to see this team. You're right, the Big Ten schedule is going to be a bear, but it's going to be fantastic to see Minnesota and Penn State here. People are going to want to get their tickets for those duels right our way.
For sure. It's going to be fun, and the character of our team, and we got great leadership, and really proud of our team and how they conduct themselves, and they're doing great in the classroom, and they're workers. Every year you say, man, this team did this in the off season, but man, I've never seen, 25, 30 guys in our wrestling room all spring and summer. And just the commitment our team can really pay off, and really, really happy to see the culture of our team where we're at. And then now they just have to be great competitors. So get ready to go.
Can't wait. Coach, appreciate you coming and give us a rundown. Best of luck on Friday.
Yeah, thanks, Greg.
There he is, Husker Wrestling Coach Mark Manny with us here on Sports Nightly. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. 402-413-2400. We're back with more of the show coming up next.
Need parts fast? O'Reilly Auto Parts has fast. Need them now? We've got now. No matter what you need, we have thousands of professional parts people doing their part to make sure you have it. We're O'Reilly Fast. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're going to feel a puff of air.
Jong's Optometry has set their sights on staffing up.
Try the next line. Hey, Kim, can you tell our 2 o'clock we're running 15 behind? Sorry, we're a bit backed up today.
He needs an optometric technician to keep an eye on it all.
Where are the dilation drops?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
The best Thanksgiving tradition is football, and AAA knows the best way to celebrate the holiday is by hitting the road with the Huskers. The Huskers play their annual Black Friday game on the road this year, and AAA is giving fans a chance to win a road trip package to Iowa City. The package includes 2 game tickets to Nebraska versus Iowa on November 29th, a gas card, and hotel accommodations, courtesy of AAA Nebraska. Enter at huskers.com/AAA road trip. Contest ends on November 17th.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on our massive screens. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
Husker fans, this is Coach Cook thanking you for always supporting Husker Volleyball. With your help, we've maintained a streak of consecutive sold-out regular season games that dates back to 2001. Thanks also for supporting your Husker student athletes through contributions to 1890 Nebraska, the official NIL collective of Husker Athletics. 100% of your contributions to 1890 go to Husker athletes. Visit 1890nebraska.com or text NEBNIL to 801-801 today and join us as we continue to dream big.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on our massive screens. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
Hello, Husker Nation. This is Lexi Rodriguez, All-American Libero, serving you an ace on behalf of Noddle Companies based in Omaha, Nebraska. Noddle Companies is a full-service leader in commercial real estate, digging deep to create thriving communities like the Builders District, Exarban Village, and the contemporary row house townhomes. They bring world-class concepts in fashion, great eats, gorgeous homes, and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. To dig up more information, find them on Facebook and Instagram. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Folks, AAA is giving away a Husker football road trip package. Visit huskers.com/AAA road trip. Huskers.com/AAA road trip for a chance to win 2 tickets to the Nebraska football game in Iowa City on November 29th. A $200 gas card, hotel accommodations. The contest ends on November the 17th. Easy drive to get over there off of I-80 to Iowa City. I think Kinnick Stadium. I'm speaking for you a little bit here, but I think that's one of your favorite spots in the Big Ten. I like going there. I think it's a pretty cool atmosphere.
I actually really like it. I can't deny it. I think I thought that it was pretty nice. They were not very mean to me. Granted, Nebraska was winning almost the whole time, but there was also a lot of Nebraska fans right at the front. They were right there. It was fun. It was a good game. The Huskers won. The wave. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. It is one of my favorites, and I know people probably don't like hearing that, but I do like it. And it's not very far, so.
No. It's a 4.5-hour drive from Lincoln. There
are fan bases that are pretty rude all the time, and then there are some that are okay once, are very nice in and out of games. I feel like Iowa's one of those.
They're one of our Blitz teams tonight. They play UCLA, by the way, Friday night, little Friday night football.
They're like one of the fan bases that, hey, they're really, really nice before and after the game. Kind of a little bit like Nebraska, I feel like. I thought they were very kind people.
I'm with you. That place is in my upper 3 or 4 in the league. I love the Horseshoe. I love Kinnick. I like Minneapolis's. In fact, we go back there next year. That's one of our road trips.
You love that. You and Searles are a big fan of the Minnesota Gophers Stadium.
You're not? I think it's pretty clean and nice. It's easy to get around.
It's been terrible games since I've been there.
I know.
Heartbreaking games.
It's kind of a quaint little stadium. It seats about 50, and PJ Fleck has done a heck of a job. I mean, they're 6-3. They play Rutgers this week. I'm not sure how he's doing it, but they're off to another bowl game this year. And again, that's an easy trip for the Husker fans to make. I love the Twin Cities a lot. Our road games next year in the conference, Penn State, haven't been there in a while. Maryland, we've only been there once since they joined the league. Minneapolis, and then we go to the Rose Bowl to play UCLA, return the game that we had this year. So those are our road games in the conference next year. But yeah, you've not been to Penn State. I'm not. It's a great atmosphere. Don't love the stadium, but it's a great atmosphere. I mean, they get loud at Happy Valley. So
I heard, and the travel's not great either, right?
Which one?
The travel to Penn State.
It's a little bitty airport, and so it's one, kind of like when we land at Purdue and they jam the brakes on the plane. Same deal at State College. They have to hit the brakes hard to get it stopped so you don't go into a field. But, yeah. So Penn State.
I heard, you remember when James Franklin was saying that they had to fly out early because they didn't have a big enough plane to fly? Yeah. I wonder if that's the same case for the West Coast schools, if they can't land there.
Depends on how big a plane you take. Like, we've taken different size planes. We took smaller planes to Indiana and Purdue. Those can land there. The one we took to Ohio State, no, we can't land it there. We got to move on or get the bigger plane. So we're late for the break. Let's get a break in. 402-413-2400 is our text line. Back to wrap up hour one next.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Attention Husker Nation, are you ready to power up your game? Sapp Brothers bleeds Husker Red, and our high-quality off-road red diesel is the fuel that powers your equipment. As official sponsors of the Huskers, we're here with a touchdown offer with the Sapp Brothers Go Big Red Fuel Giveaway. Contract your upcoming fuel needs by February 1st and enter to win 1,000 free gallons of our off-road red diesel. Keep your engines roaring and your equipment running strong. With this winning opportunity, Sapp Brothers fuels Husker Nation. Visit sappbros.net/fuel giveaway for more info.
This fall, be ready for every tailgate, touchdown, and adventure in a perfect car, truck, or SUV from Sid Dillon Chevrolet. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo and shop Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group. We're also your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, offering medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit us at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
Folks, Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. Final few minutes of hour one of our Wednesday night show. Going back to Mark Manning, he really praised Lenny Pinto dropping that weight just to get down to 174 so they could make the shifts. And that's not easy to do, to go to a veteran guy like that who's been wrestling at 184 and go, now we kind of need you to be a 174-pounder. But he said Lenny's lean and mean and was willing to do it for the team, and certainly a great wrestler in his own right. But good for Lenny to go do that and adapt his body to go wrestle at 174.
Sometimes it's a better move, too. We'll see. Sometimes they feel better at that weight. Who was it recently that did that moved either up or down? I think for Ridge. It might have been Peyton Robb that ended up feeling better at the weight that they moved him to. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see how it all unfolds, but they wouldn't put him there if they didn't think that he could still go win a potential national title at that weight. Sometimes it ends up being a better spot, not just because you feel better wrestling at that weight, but also the guys that are competing at that weight. I don't know who. I do not know. Penn State obviously is always loaded, so is Iowa, but I don't know how that weight class shakes out, but might end up being a really great fit for him in that class.
It's just amazing how many veteran names we rolled through there. Guys that have been wrestling here for a couple of years. Brock Hardy back again at 141, and Caleb Smith was so good last year at 125, and so it's going to be dynamic. 6 o'clock Friday night, Utah Valley. Your only chance to see him until right before Christmas, so not many home matches for the Huskers coming up. And then we have basketball doubleheader at PBA on Saturday. Women play at 1, Southeast Louisiana. Pretty good team out of the Southland. And then the men will play Bethune-Cookman, who got rolled last night in Lubbock at Texas Tech for Fred Hoiberg's second game of the year. Speaking of Coach Hoiberg, we'll have a full hour tomorrow night. Our first men's basketball show of the year coming your way tomorrow night during hour one. We'll talk Husker hoops with Fred Hoiberg. We've got another hour to go with Sports Nightly. Come on back.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Want to boost Nebraska's economy and help the planet? It's as easy as filling up your tank. Switch to soy-based biodiesel to cut greenhouse gases by up to 74% and support biodiesel growth.
I'm Greg Anderson, a farmer near Newman Grove, Nebraska, and biodiesel has transformed our farm. It cuts emissions, raises the cetane number, and improves fuel lubricity.
So ask for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, economy, and Nebraska soybean farmers. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
For almost 50 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been more than just a dealership. We're a family dedicated to serving yours. Shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer for the new car, truck, or SUV to fit your needs. We're also your GMC Business Elite dealer for commercial vehicles. Visit us at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
You are what drives us. Sid Dillon.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
From family road trips in a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling in a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Purchasing a vehicle has never been easier thanks to our streamlined buying process. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands. View transparent pricing so you can find the vehicle that fits in your budget. And complete your purchase online. Shop when you want, where you want. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
Good evening. I'm Duke Root, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Starting quarterback Dylan Raiola was named a semifinalist for the Sean Alexander Freshman of the Year award today. Raiola leads all true freshmen in yards per game and ranks second in completion percentage and passing touchdowns. Finalists will be announced on December 4th. Another night of action continues as Ohio travels to Kent State and Western Michigan hosts Northern Illinois. 3 games of the Big Ten men's college basketball tonight as Rutgers beat Wagner 75-52. Indiana hosts SIU Edwardsville, and Oral Roberts versus Minnesota. In the NBA, the Warriors face the Celtics, Lakers versus the Grizzlies, Pelicans host the Cavs, and Paul George make his return to LA as the Sixers face the Clippers. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Coming up next is Hour 2 of Sports Nightly right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Raiola turns, fakes the handoff, looks a little fade route to the back corner of the end zone, passes up, and it's caught. It is a touchdown, Nebraska. Isaiah Nair pulls one in, and the Huskers have 6 points.
Set to the back row, Franklin swings. Unbelievable. Dick Laney, Showboy. Nebraska bumps it to the left. Taylor Landfair roll shot, and it falls. Nebraska's up 18-15. Landfair's finest hour as a Husker. Tonight, Taylor Landfair, 10 kills and 6 errors. And the Huskers are up 18-15 in the third.
Defensive rebound by Wooster, brings it across the timeline. Defender on his back all the way to the rim. Nope, circles back out, kicks to Esigian, 3-ball. Got it! Connor Esigian with his third 3. It's 72-65.
Bojan with the active hands. Ahead it comes. Britt Prince on the deep left wing, tracks down the loose ball. Bojan not guarded. Her 3-pointer. You betcha! The first Central Valley Egg 3 of the year goes to Petra Bojan, and now Nebraska has hit a 3-pointer in 500 straight games.
Now, here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
And we're back, Hour 2 of our Wednesday night show, our Hump Day show, Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Tomorrow night, full show. We've got 2 hours, and then we'll hand it off to JB and Lauren for some late night volleyball as they have traveled out to the West Coast to play 2 of the new members of the Big Ten, Oregon tomorrow, Washington on Saturday night. Both late night matches, folks. You're going to need to take a little nap, a little snooze maybe after dinner, get you ready to stay up late with the Big Red and JB and Lauren. So looking forward to those matches against Oregon and Washington. Going to have a little bit of this week's podcast, The Dig, with assistant coach Kelly Hunter coming your way here in just a couple of minutes. And as a Wednesday tradition, we'll go around the Big Ten Conference and check out the Blitz. We've got some pretty big matchups in Big Ten football slated to come your way on Saturday, even though the Huskers have the bye week. Matt Rule earlier today flew down to Houston to go do some recruiting. He and T. Knight were getting on the plane to go down there to see some guys in the Houston area. He did say he was going to be out recruiting, said he was going to let the staff run practice tomorrow. So he's not flying back tonight. They're going to stay down in Texas, so he's going to let the rest of the staff coach practice tomorrow. And then the guys get Friday and Saturday off as they enjoy their second bye week of the 2024 season. Well, Jess, this volleyball season's just smoking along. They continue to play at a high level. That match in Madison last Friday night was so impressive to go into that place, which has been a house of horrors for Nebraska, and sweep them and really dominate that match. That was so incredibly impressive what the Huskers accomplished last Friday night.
Oh, so good. You know we're talking on Saturday morning before the football game. You know, since I've been here, Wisconsin, they are so good. They've been so good. And even last year, it was a pretty evenly matched roster. And you felt like just with the thriller that was here in Lincoln, and then I know that it ended up not being as close of a match in Wisconsin last year, but if it was going to be a national title, you knew it was going to be an epic battle like it was the first season that I was here in 2021. But I felt like on Friday night, and again, there's still a long ways to go, but Nebraska is a better team than Wisconsin. And I feel like they've just been so evenly matched, and they've had such battles. How long has it been probably that you can say Nebraska's got the better team on the floor?
Probably 6 or 7 years ago. One of the last national championship teams for Nebraska to be the better team. Wisconsin's just clearly been a little bit better. Now, I know we got to the finals last year. They got beat in the semis, but Texas beat them and then turned around and beat us. But, yeah, it's clearly you kind of match talent for talent. You're like, they're a little bit better. But I think you're right. This Husker team is a cut above them right now, and it's exciting. So this week, Jess sat down with Kelly Hunter, the two-time national champion herself, as a setter for the Cornhuskers, and we're going to play you part of this week's The Dig.
Well, let's start on Friday. Wow, what a performance from the Huskers. How big was that one? How good did that one feel? I mean, you've been around, been a part of this staff, first time since 2013. Why was this team able to get it done?
Going into the field house, it's one of probably the toughest environments to play in. I would say them and Penn State, it's really, really hard to play there. You can't hear anything. You can't hear your coaches. It's so loud. And one thing I remember from their atmosphere is anytime they dug the ball, whether it was good or someone had to chase it down, the whole place just erupted. But knowing that it's a tough place to play and a tough team to play, and like you said, a team we haven't beaten there in over a decade, there's obviously a lot of pressure. And I think our team and our players, they went in really, really prepared, and they were excited for that pressure. They weren't nervous. They weren't going to shy away from a big block or anything like that. I think they walked in there and they knew it was going to be tough, and they had the right mindset going into it. So I would say just more of a mental kind of win, I would say, than a physical one at that point.
So how did they react? How did you guys react just as a program after that one? Because I know it's a big win, but yet it's not, the whole season doesn't ride on that one win. So, but how, I guess, was it to celebrate that one in the locker room?
It was great. Everyone was asking, what did Coach say after the game? What was that like? And he just kind of rattled off a couple different statistics. And obviously the first time we'd beaten them there in over a decade, and first time I think they got swept there in 8 years, and lowest hitting percentage they've hit there in 8 years. So he kind of just, like we talked about last time, he's a stats guy, and kind of rattled off those stats and just said how proud he was of the team and just the way they pushed us, and they would go on 5 or 6 point runs, and in some of our previous matches we would give up those runs and give up a set. But to see the way they were challenged, our team was, and the way they responded, and they didn't let anything faze them, was really, really cool. And so we brought that up as well after the match. But obviously it's one match is one match, and you're on to the next one.
He said before he showed a movie clip or something. Was it Gladiator?
Oh gosh, I can't even remember what it was. It was super short. It was like 15 seconds. It was something like that, yeah.
Just, hey, it's us together, and we've it's going to take all of us to get this done. I'm sure something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of different movie references, and it kind of goes from like the teamwork stuff, or just it's going to be a battle. So a lot of that Gladiator stuff really makes its appearance with the battling stuff.
So, you talked about just the runs, and that was one thing that Merritt said in her post game, but that, hey, we knew they were going to go on some runs. They're just too good offensively to not. But there have been some times this season where the Huskers did not handle runs as well. So how good was that to see the Nebraska respond and not, to be able to stop the runs? What are we going to do to stop it? They were able to find ways to stop those runs.
That would be the biggest part of the match for me. Like I said, we've had other sets or other matches where we kind of start to go down and don't pull ourselves out of it. I think their mindset going into the match was, obviously they're a really big physical team. Like Merritt said, their offense is really good. So there was almost an understanding of, okay, they're going to get some points, and that's okay because we are too. And I think sometimes when you go into someone else's gym and they get 1 point, and maybe it's a great play, but they get 1 point, the crowd erupts. It feels so much heavier than 1 point. But I think they did a really, really good job of, if someone got a kill that was over our block and our defenders couldn't even touch it, it was just, hey, we're going on to the next point. And it wasn't like, okay, we're giving up, but it was like, hey, that's a great play by them. All right, let's go make a great play on our side. And so I think that was kind of the mentality going into it, of just understanding they're going to get some really great plays, and it's going to be loud, and it's going to feel bigger than 1 point, but it's just one. So let's move on to the next one. And that would be the area I'm for sure most proud of them in.
Lindsay told us last week the block was going to be a key. How good was the Huskers block? And it seemed like everybody was involved and really understood the game plan.
I think Jalen and our guys kind of did a really good job scouting and just kind of seeing what some tendencies are. And like to my point about, hey, they're going to get some kills, our job is to figure out where they're going to get most of them and try and put our hands where that's going to be. And so I think our players really understood the game plan. They understood if they get a kill outside of what I'm trying to take away, that's okay. But I think they also adjusted in the moment also and were able to see what was happening in front of them. And so maybe we did get some touches on some balls that weren't to their true tendency, but we were able to just get a lot of touches, get a lot of digs, and kind of slow them down. And as an attacker, if you're getting touched or dug over and over and over, you try and do more and more and more. So I think it's almost that kind of frustrating or suffocating type feeling, but we definitely had our hands where they needed to be a lot of the time. And I just think we were super focused and really seeing what was happening in front of us.
Olivia Mount, how good was the freshman? Just, back there on the back row, but also serving. I mean, she was dialed in.
Yeah. She obviously has been a great passer for us, and I think her game outside of just passing has really started to evolve. So we saw defense. She was where she needed to be, flying around the court, and there's times where I'm like, they're hitting it so hard, and we're in the right spots, but even if that ball's coming at you so fast, it's hard to dig. Like, you either shank it or it hits you or whatever, but she just made everything look so easy. Like, she knew exactly where it was going. She was ready at all times, but I think her serving, too, is just a real example of her confidence, and that's where you can kind of see players if they're confident or if they're not. And she had a bunch of aces, went on a bunch of runs. She's been our best server in the last 2 weeks, in the last 4 matches. So to me, that just shows that she's confident and she's feeling like I belong out there. I can make a difference, even though I'm just a back row player, and it definitely showed this weekend.
So, and you guys started with her. She was the first server, I think, both games, right? So what is it that you've seen that you've trusted her, and how does that set up the rotation that you want to start in, I guess, over the weekend, too, that you could rely on her in that role?
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into what rotation you want to start in. First and foremost, it's like who on our team is blocking their attackers and vice versa. So it can be a block matchup, it can be a serve. A person we want serving, like Olivia, for example, has gone on a lot of runs. It can be also to save a sub, because usually Taylor starts in rotation 1, and then right as soon as we side out, Olivia has to sub in. So in some of those long matches, you want to have subs towards the end of the game rather than in the beginning. But I think it was just, she's been serving so well, and we've been playing really well in rotation too. So we're like, let's just start there and highlight our strengths. And she went on a couple really big runs, like I said, in the last 2 weeks, and I think there's just a lot of trust there.
You know, Emily even on the broadcast is talking about, they had a graphic of the 3 with Lexi and Olivia and Lainey Showboy, and I think she said it's my favorite trio or back row trio, something like that. But what are the 3 of them like? I mean, because again, all 3 of them, we know what Lexi is, but both Lainey and Olivia could be starting anywhere in the country probably for their being the starting libero, but how the 3 of them, how do they work together? What's their relationship like?
They're the littles, that's what they call themselves, and I think before every game they all take a photo together, and there was one time I think the setters kind of mocked their pose that they do for their photo, and they're like, no, that's the littles thing. So they're super close, and I think with that, they can kind of see what's happening and let each other know and give each other feedback in the moment. And I think they all have different strengths too. Like Lexi is just really consistent every single day. She provides a really good, stable energy. Lainey is obviously super fiery. She will run through a brick wall to get a ball up, and that's a different type of energy that our team also needs. And then Olivia is she's kind of like the silent assassin. Like she doesn't speak much, and when she does, the volume's usually pretty low, but if she does speak up or if she does see something and has something to say, people really listen, and that's really cool, that spot to be in as a freshman. But I think they're all so different, and they all know their individual strengths and what it brings to our team.
Okay, how good was Bergen on Friday night? It just seemed like she had a lot of confidence and was really set a good match.
I think she'd understood the game plan that we had going into the game, but then also what are the adjustments that I need to make in the middle of the game, because obviously sometimes things open up, sometimes they're focused on a certain player that we didn't think they would be focused on and putting their block there. So I think she did a really good job of seeing what they were doing defensively and what that opened up on our side. And for example, they were kind of following Rebecca Alec on the middle a little bit, so that really opened up Merritt Beeson, and Merritt had a really good game and hit a really big number. So I think we always have our kind of core values and what we want to accomplish, but that's a really unique quality for a setter to have, is just that ability to feel the game and feel what's open, or feel who's playing really, really well right now, even if there are forehands in her face. And so I think that's kind of one of her superpowers, is just her feeling for the match and how it's going and just what's the right choice at this time. And she always seems to make the right ones.
Yeah, I was going to ask you too, are there certain matchups, certain games, certain times where you just feel hot? I mean, because so much of it relies on what your hitters do with the ball. But are there times where you're like, okay, I'm feeling it today?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are there different, I guess, days like that where you're on a whole nother level?
Yeah. Obviously, setting, you have to have your brain on all the time. Just your decisions, all the stuff we just talked about. Who's hot? What's the block look like? What am I comfortable with doing? So usually your brain is just kind of firing. And as a setter, if you're kind of staying in that space and like thinking too much, usually your body kind of doesn't really follow. And so you can kind of tell when setters are in their head, if they maybe kind of have that look in their eye, or if they're not moving as smoothly to the ball, just because they're thinking too much and your brain or your body kind of just shuts off. So I think that was the biggest thing, was that you could tell she was thinking about what she was trying to do, but not overanalyzing or trying to make the perfect decision. But it was more so just trusting herself. And we started off not passing great, and I think she did a really good job just getting her feet to the ball and bettering the ball and just making a better situation for her attackers as well.
So then you turn around, and that's a tough turnaround, and Coach even talked about that, how much different of a matchup it was from Wisconsin to Northwestern. How did you guys feel like the team handled that, and having to go to Chicago, and you had the late night on Friday night, but then just the completely different matchup, which you had to completely, I guess, change the strategy probably a little bit too. How did they handle all of that, and what did you guys think about Sunday?
One of the things we're talking about with them is just competitive maturity, and for us that means acknowledging the situation in front of us, whether it's a tough practice or a shorter practice or a top 10 opponent or an unranked opponent, just kind of approaching those games, not the exact same, because that's just not realistic to have the exact same hype level for every single game and practice and day, but to understand the situation in front of you. So we talked a lot about, hey, we got this big win, and here's the strengths and here's the good things that we kind of learned from this match, and here's what we need to work on. So we're always working on striving to be better, and I think even in our practice Saturday when we got there, we were talking about a couple things that we needed to be better at. But we talked a lot about, too, the 12 o'clock start. It was early, way earlier than the night before, and just being ready to go for especially that time, and everyone's excited to get back home and all of that. So we just really talked about being focused from the start, being disciplined, working on those things that we found out that we needed to work on from Wisconsin.
Greg, I thought, one of the things that I really took away was, because it's something that we've heard Coach Cook say a few times after matches, is just how sometimes the Huskers might allow for opposing teams to go on runs, and then just the ability to be able to withstand and then stop those runs. And, she had talked about how that was one of the probably her most proud moments of that match against Wisconsin, is that, hey, we know that Wisconsin is a great volleyball team and they are going to get theirs. How are we going to respond to that? And just the response to it, I think that was a big thing that they needed to see and be able to do to be able to achieve, some of those lofty goals and expectations that this team has.
I'll be honest with you, that second set run that Wisconsin went on, I thought, okay, they're going to tie it up. They're going to win this set. And the Huskers just stood up and said, no, not tonight. We're going to take this thing back. And that was the most impressive moment to me of the entire season to this point, what they did in that set two. And then you could almost see almost a give up from Wisconsin in set three, like, we ain't beating them tonight. We're not going to beat this team at all.
Yeah.
Loved it.
They just looked like, I mean, I feel like there are times, maybe sometimes you are fired up for a certain match, or I don't know, just, you watch a team in any sport, and there's different roller coasters and emotions, and maybe they're fired up, but that team just looks so locked in and focused and confident, and we're going to win this match, and no matter what you do, we're better than you, and we're going to win it. I just love the demeanor. I mean, last year they were still so young and everything was new, but it just seemed like a different switch that flipped, right? Did I say that?
Well done.
That
well done.
They were, hey, this is our match. Whatever you want to do, that's fine, but we're better. We're better, and we are going to be the better team at the end of this. Their demeanor and the whole was just so impressive, and that looked like a national championship team to me. Now, there's a long way to go, and they still can point to a lot of things they got to get better at. I actually dove into that with Kelly as a part of the dig. Just when do you want to peak? How do you get the team to peak? All that kind of stuff, because you don't want to peak too soon. But, she had talked about that was pretty close, but, there's going to be ups and downs. But this team is still on their way up. That's what's scary, but hopefully they can continue to do that. But that was, again, the dig powered by Emeritus. You can listen to the full episode out now on our podcast platforms and our YouTube channel as well.
Very good. When we come back, we'll take a little spin around the league. We call it the Blitz.
No matter what color you wear on game day or what color tractor you drive, there's one color Nebraskans trust to be a partner for life lived well. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska combines national power with Nebraska roots. Awarded the best health insurance experience in the heartland, Blue Cross delivers affordable, high-quality health plans for Medicare groups and individuals. Head to nebraskablue.com to find the coverage that's right for you. Team Blue says, go Big Red.
O'Reilly.
Eliminate carbon and varnish deposits with Lucas Fuel Treatment at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Simply add it to your tank at your next fill-up. A clean fuel system can increase performance and fuel economy. Right now, get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Treatment for just $9 and get 2 times O Rewards points. In-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-notch products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com to find your dealer today.
From family road trips and a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling in a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Purchasing a vehicle has never been easier thanks to our streamlined buying process. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands. View transparent pricing so you can find the vehicle that fits in your budget. And complete your purchase online. Shop when you want, where you want. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Cyber threats are everywhere. When is the last time you stopped to think about how you're protecting your business from potential data breaches, phishing scams, or ransomware? It's time to make cybersecurity a priority for your business. At Hamilton, our unmatched expertise and cutting-edge technology goes beyond basic defense, providing proactive, tailored solutions that keep your data, network, and digital assets protected. Better protection, better cybersecurity with Hamilton. Visit our website at hamiltonisbusiness.com to learn more.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump.
And save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
For farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices.
I'm Ann Neese, a farmer near Elgin, Nebraska. I grew up on this land, and we're dedicated to being good stewards and leaving it better for the next generation.
Since 1980, U.S. soybean farmers have boosted production by 130%, all while lowering emissions and improving land and water use. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
This fall, be ready for every tailgate, touchdown, and adventure in a perfect car, truck, or SUV from Sid Dillon Chevrolet. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo and shop Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group. We're also your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, offering medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit us at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
From family road trips in a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling in a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Purchasing a vehicle has never been easier thanks to our streamlined buying process. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands. View transparent pricing so you can find the vehicle that fits in your budget. And complete your purchase online. Shop when you want, where you want. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Wednesday night tradition during the fall. Chance for us to take a little spin around the conference. Check out what's coming up this weekend in Big Ten football. We call it the Blitz.
This is the Big Ten Blitz. Rutgers.
And here to talk about the Scarlet Knights, Bobby Darin of ScarletNation.com. Rutgers has had an interesting football season, needless to say. 4 wins to start and 4 on the downside. Where they are right now, they're coming off of a bye week. Bobby, what's Coach Schiano been saying about the last month, and what's been troubling the Scarlet Knights on the field?
Well, it's been a tale of 2 seasons, so to speak. It's 4 wins and then 4 straight losses. But they're trying to get healthy because you had 7 out of 11 starters on a defense that returned a lot of guys either missing games or not playing at 100%. So it really been decimated by injuries on that side of the football. The offense started to come to life, but haven't been able to play the quite complementary football that they would have liked because they have a lot of new guys playing in a lot of spots on defense, and it just hasn't worked out as planned with bringing back all these seniors from last year's defense that ranked 16th in the country.
Well, I got to think then the bye week came at a good time, right? Maybe they get some guys back for the Minnesota game.
It did. They have guys, but some of the guys are just playing through injury. So, a week will help. It's not necessarily going to be a cure-all. But, the coaching staff has a good track record coming out of bye weeks. Head coach Greg Schiano's teams typically perform well. Offensive coordinator Kirk Soraka usually does a good job, even in his previous stint at Minnesota coming out of the bye week. So, there is, optimism coming out of it, but, they're not going to be miraculously cured from those injury situations just with the week off. But, home game against Minnesota, and they're very similar teams. Coaching staffs know each other really well. The D.C. for Minnesota was the former linebacker coach at Rutgers last year. Rutgers DC and OC came from Minnesota. PJ Fleck, he coached under Greg Schiano at Rutgers in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So there's a lot of familiarity here.
That's remarkable. All right, what's going to make the difference? What does Rutgers need to do to get a win and get this thing kind of turned around?
Well, they really need to bring back that defense, as I mentioned. It performed so well last year. Finished ranked 16th in the country, but just not been the same group this year and haven't been able to make stops, when they need it. The offense is starting to come alive, but I think for Rutgers to return to the win column, the defense is going to have to play a lot better. You have to go back to Nebraska, lost 14-7, played really well in the second half, and since then, they've surrendered an average of 500 yards per game against the previous three opponents. So they're going to have to find a way to stop Minnesota, keep it a lower scoring game, and hope that offense continues the upward trend.
Rutgers hosting Minnesota Saturday, 11 o'clock Central on NBC. Bobby Darin of ScarletNation.com. Bobby, we appreciate the update. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime.
Iowa.
Here to talk about the Hawkeyes, Scott Dochterman of The Athletic. Iowa coming off of a thumping of Wisconsin, 42-10. Scott, that's got to be really rare in that series for a game to get that lopsided. What did Iowa do so well in that one?
Run the football. They had 329 rushing yards, which was the most in 5 years against any one opponent, and I couldn't even tell you the last time they had anything like that against Wisconsin. And this is a team that's really operating at a high level on all three facets right now. I mean, this is the fourth time in 6 games they've scored more than 40 points at home, and fifth time that they've exceeded 38. So for all the laugh over the 325 last year, it's been the complete opposite this year for the Hawkeyes.
Do you think Sullivan's kind of locking himself in as the guy even when Cade is cleared to play? Do you think it looks like it's going to be his team the rest of the year?
I would hope so for Iowa, because what he does is he just really helps that running game go, because he's a fast runner and when he's got the ball in his hands. And Cade, that's not his area. He's a little bit better passer, but Iowa is a mid-level, mediocre team anyway through the air. So right now you've got Brendan Sullivan, who makes the makeables in the passing game. He was 7 of 10, less than 100 yards passing, but if you're running for 329, you don't have to worry about that. And he just really adds a couple of elements in the run game that nobody that Iowa's had in a long time can do.
Short week, play Friday night at UCLA. Huskers just saw UCLA this past week. What do you make of this matchup in the Rose Bowl on Friday?
There are a couple of things that I think UCLA could do with Iowa that I really think will be the game, and that is UCLA's done a really nice job stopping the run, and then they've got a couple of really good players. I think Carson Schwessinger is maybe one of the best players nobody knows about. They have a linebacker, but so I think if they can slow down Caleb Johnson, I think it could be a really good game. But I think Iowa's defense is playing really well, and I think that they match up well with UCLA other than the run game. So I think if Iowa just stays with it, it's patient, doesn't do anything stupid, I think Iowa could probably churn out a 10 to 14 point win.
Iowa, I would imagine, will travel pretty well. I would imagine some Hawkeye fans excited about making this trek out to L.A.
Absolutely. I mean, in old Big Ten country, going to the Rose Bowl was the Mecca. Iowa was not successful in the 4 most recent trips to Pasadena and under Hayden Fry and Kirk Ferentz. So there's a lot of people that did circle this as their kind of trip of the year when they go out of town. And I know that there are plenty of available seats in Pasadena. And I also know from talking to UCLA that this was one that was really a hot contested ticket for people, traveling there.
Friday Night Football, 8 o'clock prime time on Fox. Scott Dochterman of The Athletic. Scott, we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Indiana.
Here to talk about those red-hot Hoosiers, Zach Osterman of the Indianapolis Star. Indiana came from 10 down to whip Michigan State 47-10. And I guess, Zach, proving another point that they can fall behind and rally and win. Just this magical ride continues for the Hoosiers. What'd you make of their win last week?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of got the sense Kurtzignetti was almost just annoyed at all the discussion of Indiana not having trailed yet. He made some, I think it's probably fair to say, disinterested remarks about it after the game. Maybe wry would be the polite way to describe it. But I think at minimum, I suspect that when that score goes up to 10-0, around the conference, people are maybe looking at it and saying, okay, tough stadium. Michigan State's burned hot and cold this year. Let's see what Indiana does. And obviously the response that Indiana puts in is emphatic, and I think in some ways is maybe even more impressive than some of the other performances they've had this season, particularly defensively. I mean, that was a dominant performance from about the beginning of the second quarter onward. And, as Kurt Signetti said, now everybody knows what happens when Indiana goes behind. So they've kind of crossed that Rubicon, and now they get ready for a couple big ones here in the next 3 weeks.
All right, last night, the first college football playoff poll reveal. They're number 9. What was the reaction around town about that?
Yeah, to be honest, actually, I think it's important that they're number 8, technically, in seeding. They're 9th because BYU is behind them. BYU is 9th, but BYU is the 4th highest rated conference champion, so they get an automatic bye. And I think that's important because I feel like that extra spot, to some extent, number 1, keeping them in front of 2 conference champions, and number 2, just giving them a little bit more cushion, I think sets up a path where it's very reasonable to believe that Indiana can go 2-1 in these last 3 games and still get to the playoff. Now, it seems like a lot of the other stuff, can they host? Could they get one of those byes? Obviously, they'd have to win the Big Ten title game. All that stuff's probably going to require them at least to win out in the regular season. And there were some Indiana fans who I think were like, well, aren't we better than this? Is this disrespecting the committee? Truthfully speaking, I thought Ward Manuel was pretty fair about Indiana. He said, on the one hand, the schedule is what it is. On the other hand, you can only play your schedule, and they have just absolutely, wiped teams out here for the first 10 weeks, 9 games of the season. And so I thought it was fair, and I thought it opened a fairly clear path for Indiana in terms of saying this is how, if you want to be a playoff team, you get there.
You mentioned Ward Manuel, Michigan's AD. That's who the Hoosiers have this week. Michigan certainly has been a thorn in everybody in the Big Ten side decade after decade. How about this matchup Saturday in Bloomington?
It will almost certainly be the best offensive-defensive line matchup Indiana's seen. I think the only other one would be Nebraska, and of course, we know what happens in that game. I don't know if we're going to see a repeat of that necessarily, but what I would say about Michigan is I think that you if you're Indiana, you're at least going to see NFL talent on both sides of the ball. I know they've been inconsistent. I know they've struggled to move and score the ball in particular. But I think at minimum, this is a nice warm-up for Ohio State, and for what you're going to have to do from it sounds simplistic, but almost just kind of a one-to-one matchup perspective. What's going to be required of you when you play teams like this, when you play teams that have, genuine sort of 4- and 5-star and NFL caliber players. Again, that line of scrimmage in particular, I think is a real test for Indiana. And I think is one that it's going to be fascinating to kind of watch and see how IU navigates that, because we've seen them be really dominant against some teams that maybe, like a Nebraska, to some extent like a Michigan State, where we thought, could this team be really good? Could this team give Indiana some trouble in the trenches? And they really didn't. But now it's starting to get a little bit more real, and now it is, even whatever the record is, it is still Michigan. It is still a proud program and a team that, I talked to Gary Danielson on Wednesday, and he said, if Michigan wins this game, this is basically the start of their 2025 season. You can't take it lightly, and I don't think Indiana will.
Indiana hosting the Wolverines, 2:30 Central on CBS. Zach Osterman of the Indianapolis Star. Zach, as always, we appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All of our contributors appear with us on our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with a home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Again, that is our Big Ten Blitz presented by Groundworks. They are the official foundation company of the Huskers. All right, 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program. Jessica will rejoin me next.
From family road trips and a spacious SUV to heavy-duty hauling and a powerful truck, Woodhouse has the vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Purchasing a vehicle has never been easier thanks to our streamlined buying process. Browse a huge selection of new or pre-owned vehicles from top brands. you transparent pricing so you can find the vehicle that fits in your budget. And complete your purchase online. Shop when you want, where you want. It's the Woodhouse difference. Get started today at woodhouse.com.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the propane tank on your grill first before hosting a tailgate.
Let's fire up. Here, let me try. Seriously? You didn't check the propane? Who else shit?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Salt and vinegar?
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
No matter what color you wear on game day or what color tractor you drive, there's one color Nebraskans trust to be a partner for life lived well. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska combines national power with Nebraska roots. Awarded the best health insurance experience in the heartland, Blue Cross delivers affordable, high-quality health plans for Medicare groups and individuals. Head to nebraskablue.com to find the coverage that's right for you. Team Blue says, go Big Red.
The all-new 2025 Subaru Forester is the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. More distinctive style, more advanced safety technology, and always the confidence of standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. The all-new 2025 Subaru Forester. Love begins with trust. Visit Duteau Subaru at 27th Street and Jamie Lane in Lincoln or at duteausubaru.com.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we're born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Looking for the ultimate sports watching experience? Head to Smash Park in La Vista, home of Husker Hangouts, Omaha's official watch parties. Your go-to spot for epic game day deals, delicious bites, and unbeatable fun. Catch every moment on our massive screens. Challenge friends to pickleball, axe throwing, and other games. Smash Park is where the action happens, whether you're cheering on the Huskers or just enjoying the atmosphere. Smash Park. Visit us today and turn your game day into a game night. Smash Park. Play, drink, eat.
Noddle Companies proudly supports the Huskers Radio Network. As a full-service leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Noddle Hospitality's latest venture in Aksarben Village, and the contemporary living of row house townhomes on Leavenworth. We're welcoming world-class concepts from men's fashion and great eats to gorgeous homes and green spaces, all professionally managed by Noddle Services. These are the Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Folks, there's a new blood donation competition happening among Big Ten schools, and a $1 million prize is on the line. Nebraska currently top of the leaderboard, so if you bleed Husker red, donate blood and submit for Nebraska at big10.org/Abbott before December the 7th. They did one at the stadium today and had a full boat of people that came and donated blood. The beautiful thing about this, you don't have to be in Lincoln or Nebraska to give blood to have this count toward the Huskers account. You just need to go to that website, download a certification, and they'll get that filled out for you. And so if you live in Los Angeles or Phoenix or wherever, and you want to go give blood and have it credited to the Huskers, you can get that done. Pretty cool thing right there. Last hour, we were talking about good Big Ten stadiums, and we mentioned that we go to Penn State next year. Goose from Beamer said Penn State's a beautiful campus. It's on my bucket list to watch a game there. I'm going to be there in June for some business. You're right, Goose. I like the town a lot. It's pretty, kind of in that valley, obviously, Happy Valley. But the stadium, to me, is a bit of a erector set. But inside, it gets loud. Their students might be the best in the league as far as how they get involved. They all sit behind one end zone, and they can really crank it up. We've had some really high-caliber games down through the years with the Huskers and the Nittany Lions. Nebraska's done pretty well there since joining the Big Ten. They've won a couple of times. They didn't win the last time they were there, but they've won a couple of times in Happy Valley since joining the Big Ten Conference. So that's one of our 4 league road trips. Next year we go to Maryland, Minnesota, Penn State, and UCLA, the 4 road games for Big Ten football next year for the Cornhuskers. Hey, we went a little long in the last segment, so I need to get to a break, come back and wrap up our second hour, final hour of the night here on Sports Nightly, so don't go away.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Last season was a banner year for the Huskers, winning 5 Big Ten titles. Nebraska also finished in the top 25 in the Directors' Cup standings. Beardmore Subaru congratulates Husker Athletics and Nebraska student athletes for all their achievements and stands behind you again this season. Go Big Red! Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester, the same trusted SUV it's always been, only more so. Love begins with trust.
Nebraska Soybeans Power makes everyday products, from Goodyear tires and Ford cars and trucks to Skechers shoes and soy-based turf. These innovations replace petroleum and utilize other components of the soybean, leading to more sustainable products worldwide.
I'm Doug Sadoff, a farmer near Trumbull, Nebraska. Thanks to cutting-edge research, soybeans are now in everything from tires to turf. It's amazing to see how these advancements are unlocking new potential for our crops.
Soybeans are a win for everyone. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford Credit Financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough.
Get a 2024 Ford Super Duty for 1.9% with Ford credit financing, or get $2,000 bonus cash only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe back. Final few minutes here of our show. Crypto, you like that erector set reference for Penn State? It does. It kind of looks like that. A lot of exposed steel on the outside of the stadium at Penn State. Inside, again, there's magic inside because of the way they rev it up and get it going, but it's not one of the more prettier stadiums in my eyes. Maybe somebody else thinks it's a thing of beauty. Checking the Big Ten scoreboard, Rutgers rolled away from Wagner 75-59. Rutgers can be pretty good. In fact, they're preseason 25. These are men's scores. Minnesota at the half leads ORU 38-24. Indiana on top of SIU Edwardsville 42-30. The Big Ten has not lost a game yet in non-conference play. They went like 14-0 opening night. So on the men's side, the women lost a couple of games, but Michigan played the defending champion South Carolina, so that's a tough one. But Big Ten basketball might be a little bit deeper and better than you kind of think. On the women's side, Iowa leads Northern Illinois in the fourth quarter 76-54. First game after the Caitlin Clark era and new coaching change over there in Iowa City. Illinois State at the half leads Northwestern 36-34. Nevada, Oregon play later tonight. Purdue a winner over Purdue Fort Wayne 87-77 earlier. So some busy nights going on for college basketball, and pretty much from now until March, you're going to have pretty much games going on all the time. Those Maction games in football, Ohio leads Kent 27-0 third quarter. Northern Illinois 21, Western Michigan 14 at the half. That's a pretty entertaining game. Folks, League One Volleyball is coming to Omaha this January, featuring Olympic medalist Jordan Larson and Justine Wong-Aranches. LOVB, Omaha Volleyball. It's Omaha's newest pro team. Go visit the website, lovb.com, for ticket information. All right, tomorrow night, our first and only men's basketball show for the month of November. Fred Hoiberg will be in studio, so get your comments, questions ready for him. We're so loaded up with games between now and the end of the month, we won't be able to get him on until December on a regular basis. But hour one will be that. Then we'll have hour two coming your way. Amy Williams will make an appearance as we lead you in to Husker volleyball tomorrow night, playing Oregon late night, 9 o'clock start, 8 o'clock for JB and Lauren for pregame coverage as they take on the 12th-ranked Ducks. They'll stay out on the coast and play Washington then late Saturday nights, a couple of late-night games. We'll have a couple of basketball games for you on Saturday, bye week for football. Huskers not back on the gridiron until a week from Saturday when they go out to USC to take on the Trojans. That'll do it for tonight's show. Thanks to Duke for steering the ship for us tonight. Guys, have a great night. Back with Fred Hoiberg tomorrow night in hour number one. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
No matter what color you wear on game day or what color tractor you drive, there's one color Nebraskans trust to be a partner for life lived well. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska combines national power with Nebraska roots. Awarded the best health insurance experience in the heartland, Blue Cross delivers affordable, high-quality health plans for Medicare groups and individuals. Head to nebraskablue.com to find the coverage that's right for you. Team Blue says, go Big Red.
Life doesn't come with guarantees, but working with Rob Seco comes pretty close. Our strategic investments in the seed we offer are designed to directly improve your bottom line. From full trait platforms, breeding and development, to field-by-field planning and seed-driven crop inputs, with Rob Seco, you have precisely what you need to improve plant performance and increase yield. Every farm, every crop, and every acre. Learn more at robseco.com.
Out here, we raise stronger people, stronger crops, and we proudly raise our flag to that. Let the weather, pests, and pressures try to beat us down. We only keep growing up. With the next-gen genetics, the pure acre-for-acre know-how of these soils, and a deep pride of our roots, we're born to raise at Hogemeyer. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Sunday morning. You can smell it. Game day. And the brisket you've been smoking since last night. A day to be with family, aka fellow football fans. Traditions make Sundays easy to enjoy. Beers do too. Bud Light. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light